enter a busy holiday season for our next guest, Brad Jacobs, who is the CEO of XPO Logistics. Besides dealing with the crush of holiday e-commerce orders, he has decided to break up the company he has founded. Brad Jacobs, join us now. Brad, good to see you. I've been following this journey since we talked back in January when you announced you were exploring strategic alternatives. Why are you doing this now, splitting up the company into two? Walk us through it.
Good morning. Good to see you again. So we did start this journey around January, beginning of the year, and we just got very frustrated with our multiple. We saw that our multiple was under 10 and most of our competitors were over 15. And we said, well, what's wrong with this picture? And we did an honest assessment where we talked to all of our different stakeholders.
Do a squeeze back.
Can you hear me?
Well, go ahead, Brad. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, there's some noise coming through. So we did an honest assessment of what the multiple, why was the market giving us this lower multiple? Because it's very substantially. And we heard two themes. This is what we learned. We learned that the company's too complicated. You just simplify it and you need to get to investment grade. And if you do those two things, the amount of demand for the stock would be vastly more. And in addition to the financial benefits, there's a lot of operational, business, commercial benefits from having two pure plays, very focused organizations with a currency that can be used for compensation, currency that can be used for M&A. So there's a lot of good rationale for doing this right now. Having one company that is a leader in transportation, moving things from point A to B. It's an outsourcing play, it's a tech play. And another company that's the second largest contract logistics company in the world, things that happen in warehouses, that's smack in the middle of this massive e-com explosion. Because we do, these days customers want more, they want shorter lead times. They want faster fulfillment. And retailers just aren't set up for this by and large. And even many e-com companies can't do it as fast as we can do it. So they outsource it to us. And it's also play on automation, because if you go to our warehouses, you'll increasingly see more and more robots because it's more and more automated, and customers want to outsource to companies who can do that.
Brad, I've watched you build this company from the ground floor through a series of acquisitions. How much, can you just isolate for investors, how much you think that logistics business could be worth on public markets as a standalone company?
Well, I can tell you what the markets today value our competitors. So if you look at contract logistics, there really is no pure play contract logistics, but the four ones that have the most amount of contract logistics in them are DHL, Kuehne+Nagel, Clipper, and DSV. And they all trade for around 15 times EBITDA. And then when you look at the transportation side of the business, the LTL business, the best two competitors to compare us to an LTL, where there are very clearly defined pure plays, are Old Dominion, which trades at 19 times EBITDA, and Saia, that trades at 12 times EBITDA. And then on the brokerage side, it would be Robinson, C.H. Robinson, the biggest truck brokerage company in the world. We're number two, and they trade at roughly about 15 times EBITDA. So you hear all these numbers, they're all double digits and well into the teens. So we do think by separating the companies out, investors will be able to understand the company better. They'll understand the superior margins, growth profiles, return on capital that we have, and we'll get at least, I hope we will get at least those kind of multiples. Having said that, if we do, the stock price would be vastly higher than it is right now.
Brad, it's Julie here. And just to further explain for our viewers, in case they don't know, LTL stands for less than load, which is when you have smaller bundles of things that you're putting together to fill up one full truck. There's a lot of those trucks moving around right now because, as you mentioned, there is a boom in e-commerce right now. It's going into a very busy holiday season. And already some of the big shipping companies like UPS are warning about potential delays. They're putting certain limits on their retail clients. What are you experiencing from your perspective?
Well, this was the mother of all peaks. It's not only the mother of all peaks, it's an extended peak. So usually peaks are very, very specific for a few days. This is just dragging on and on. So it's an interesting time. There's a lot of bad things going on in the world with still the COVID crisis still happening, but the industry's coming back, and we're seeing that in our volumes. We're seeing that in our LTL business. Delivery times are okay. Delivery times are okay. So I expect it to continue that way till the end of the year.
Yeah, Brad, it's Miles here, and you mentioned delivery times are all right now, and you go back to the spring, and I mean everything kind of froze for a variety of reasons.
Yep.
What kind of learnings do you think that you as a company in the industry had at large with that sort of surge, or was it the kind of event where we hope there's only one pandemic and we're not going to worry too much about what did or didn't get out the door in a timely fashion in late March?
Well, I actually credit the transportation industry a lot for, first of all, continuing to go to work when most people were working from their home or not working. And, our truck drivers kept driving, and our warehouse workers kept picking and packing, and our LTL workers kept going to the dock every day at risk. And we mitigated that risk by taking very extreme measures to protect the safety, the health of our employees. But still, they were right on the front line. And I do believe after healthcare workers, these kind of frontline workers in the supply chain should be towards the beginning of the queue for the vaccine to come out. Not us corporate people, but the people on the front line in the field. They really were heroes during this whole pandemic, and they kept the supply chain moving. Not just our company, but our competitors too. People did get all their PPE. People did get their food. People did get their supplies. So I feel good and proud about our industry. I think it really stood tall during this year in a very, very challenging and strange year.
Brad, for those not familiar with XPO Logistics, how are you going to play in the delivery of a COVID-19 vaccine?
Well, companies producing the vaccines are our customers, all the big pharma companies. Our expedite line of business is transporting vaccines the last several weeks in temperature-controlled trucks. And there's a big secondary market in vaccine-related freight, not the vaccines themselves, that we've been benefiting from. So think syringes, saline, styrofoam packaging, dry ice, refrigerant, temperature-controlled packaging materials. So this is look, rolling out several billion doses of anything is a big logistical upburst. There's a lot of activity as a result of that that's already started, even though the official rollout hasn't happened. There's a lot of practice dry runs going on. So this is a good thing for our industry, and it's a good thing for our country. And it's a good thing for the industry as a whole. It's good. I believe over the next few months, once we get past the unfortunate tail end, which hopefully the tail end of the pandemic, I think this rollout of the vaccine could be right up there with maybe one of the most important accomplishments of humankind. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly critical that we get this. We'll leave it there for right now. XPO Logistics founder and CEO Bradley Jacobs, good to see you. Good luck this holiday season and good luck with the split. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, do stick around. Much more ahead.